Invited here today to share with Ryan and Alayna a very important moment in their lives. In the years they have been together, their love and understanding of each other has grown and matured, and now they have decided to live their lives together as husband and wife. First I ask, who supports this woman in her marriage to this man? And who supports this man in his marriage to this woman? I'm just going to start by saying a few words. Marriage is a special bond between two people. It means putting the wants and needs of your partner before your own wants and needs. And it means being there for the other person in both good times and bad. Alayna and Ryan have gone through a lot in their 6 years together. With Ryan overseas, he was not only giving up his safety for his fellow man, but he was giving up being with the person that he cared about the most. Obviously, Alayna was in college in St. Louis, spent a lot of time overseas in Spain as well. And for most young relationships, that would have been enough to break them up. Most of them wouldn't have not been able to survive being apart for that long. But somehow these two always knew they were meant to be together. Remember a time when I was living in Atlanta, and Ryan was down in boot camp, down at Fort Benning, a couple hours south. Alayna had some time off of school, and she was going to come down and see him. And it was a very exciting time for her. They hadn't got to see each other a whole lot. It was winter time, important part of the story. And I get a phone call a couple hours before Alayna's supposed to take off. Her flight was canceled. Ice storm, snowstorm, St. Louis, the whole city was shut down. She wasn't getting out that day. She wasn't getting out the next day. She wasn't getting out, period. Now, of course, Alayna, she's not going to let a little thing like impossible travel conditions keep her from coming down to see her man. So she starts planning the 12 to 24-hour drive, or however it might be, at 20 miles an hour. So, of course, I knew that was a bad idea. My wife knew it was a bad idea. I think our families knew it was a bad idea. Pretty sure Ryan would have thought it was a bad idea. He was busy, having campouts and goofing off and having fun team building exercises or whatever it is you all do at boot camp. So, I had to be the voice of reason, which obviously from that I can tell many of you know is a little bit ironic, to say the least. So, in the end I had to talk to her, convince her that it wasn't in her best interest or anybody else's. We ended up picking up Ryan and bringing him back, and we used Skype to hang out all weekend, which for the older generation out there, it's a computer program that allows you to see and talk to each other. So she got to spend time, and it ended up being a pretty good weekend. But I share that story just because the having to listen to her cry, and maybe I shouldn't have left that part out, but having to listen to her cry and sob and be so upset, it was really the first time I think I knew how much Ryan meant to her, and that they were meant to be together. And that was the day I knew Ryan was the one for my sister. No.
I love you, not only for what you are, but for what I am when I'm with you. I love you not for what you have made of yourself, but for what you are making of me. I love you for the part of me that you bring out. I love you for putting your hand into my heaped up heart and passing over all the foolish